Okay, so welcome everybody to Psychic Development. Again, I'm Tiffany, and I'm so glad that you're here because it means that you are answering a higher calling to be more psychic, to listen to your intuition. I am going to ask everybody to mute, and if you can do that, and if you need a glass of water, if you need your journal, we're going to be taking some notes here, and so definitely. Just doing a little bit of housekeeping here. Okay, definitely just getting ready to have a really positive hour with you guys. So I'm really honored that your journey has brought you here. Again, you were born wise. You have all these tools to yourself. So just let me be a guide for you in your process. You don't have to prove anything today. There's nothing, you're totally off the hook. I know that you're psychic. You don't have to show me that you're psychic. You don't have to show anybody else that you're psychic. The point of coming to practice is that we develop our spiritual muscles. And so if we were all piano players, we would be doing our scales, and this is just us doing our scales. And so I want you to know that you are off the hook. I have absolute full faith in you, in your spirit, and spirit that is governing this class, that you are psychic. So there's nothing to prove here. This is practice. This is doing our scales, so that when we have the opportunity to be psychic in our lives for our other people, that it allows us the freedom to just you can sing a song if you've practiced the scales. You can't sing a song if you haven't practiced the scales. And so that's what we're doing here. I'm making the assumption that some of you have already taken some psychic development classes. If you haven't and you need some help, let me know. But I'm making the assumption that you've done some kind of clairvoyant type of training, and that you have a sense of how you receive your information. So whether you just feel it, whether you kind of see things clairvoyantly like a movie, like I do, whether you hear words and people think you're crazy because you told them that, whether you taste things or smell things, there are different ways that we pick up on intuitive information. I'm not going to go into that in this class. We are really going to spend the hour focusing on when. The dates and the times go so beautifully back and forth between psychic work, mediumship work, intuitive work, and they answer questions that are very, very practical for people. People want to know when. I mean, how many of you guys have a question about when? When am I going to get the new job? When is the boyfriend going to come in? When am I going to get pregnant? When am I going to switch careers? When is it going to happen for me? When do I need to travel? Right? Like, when is the optimal time? We have astrology for that too. So let's not get too carried away here. But the idea is that when is what we're going to work with. My small pitch for the rest of the series, because this one's free, this one's on us, this is the Psychic Catalyst open house. My small pitch is that each one of these is going to be this potent and powerful for their own individual topics. So if you haven't registered for the bundle yet, it's $108. It's 30% off, or you can just pop in for $22 at each one. We have people that have registered at different times that we'll be watching the replay. So I would just want to be as specific and on point and targeted as we can each time. Next time, we're going to be talking about locations. So how to pick up locations psychically, also very important. We're going to divide this class into two. We're going to practice. We're going to build our muscles. Well, I should say it differently. We're going to program our muscles, and then we're going to practice, and we're going to practice on me. So everybody's off the hook. You were born wise. We're just practicing our skills. We're going to go month by month and get symbols and signs that represent each month for us. And so that is how we are going to program ourselves. So we're jumping right in, guys. So just write down each month. So you're going to write down January through December. And if you can open a doc, if you want to open a side little window going on, or if you have your journal, go for it. And I'm just going to guide us through this. And so what is it? What are 3 to 5 words or events or feelings or visions that you have for what happens in January? And just spend a little time in January. Try not to jump too far ahead, because I really want you to get into January for a second. For me, I'm in Texas, and so it's cold. I'm not ready to go out. I have all these conflicted feelings about New Year's, because the real New Year's is, I have all these conflicting feelings. And so if something's going to happen in January, what is spirit going to make me feel like, right? Different than you. You might have a birthday in January. You might be like, I love January. You know, for me, it's like, I'm just not ready yet. Like I need a little more time to be still in January. And so there's a feeling that goes with that, right? And so I'm just giving everybody a few minutes to focus on January and just to write in a few key phrases, or even sketch. If you're an artist, you want to sketch a couple of things, and you can go back to this too. I'm just going to mute everybody, or ask everybody to stay muted while we're going through our exercises. Okay. And if you want to move on to February, you can come back to this. You get the feel of what we're doing, right? So February, what do you feel in February? The first couple things I wrote down, like Valentine's Day, I have a connection to it because my dad and I used to go to a father-daughter square dance. So I have this like square dance vibe for Valentine's. We used to do like a fried chicken picnic basket back when spiritual girls could still eat fried chicken. I'm kidding, bad food joke. But the idea is like that I have a connection to February that's mine. Later, when I thought about it, I'm like, you know what else is in February? Mardi Gras. So maybe I have a king cake, or maybe I have a like beads, or maybe I have like I plant my seeds in February. So I have a greenhouse image. But what is your experience of February? And just write them down. This is your cheat sheet. You know, this is what you're going to refer back to. This is us doing our scales, programming our muscles for when it's time to practice. Okay. So that's some ideas for February. If you have somebody with a prominent anniversary, death, or birthday, you might write them in there. It might be helpful to you. It might confuse you, but you're going to figure that out. February. Good. I really wanted to know, I meant to like pause and ask you guys what some of your symbols were. So if you feel like, oh, I got a good February one that's not just your birthday, then put it in the chat whenever you feel called to as we're going through the months. So this is just the practice part. We didn't have to meditate. We didn't have to do anything. We're just building our muscles. So March, what are your symbols for March? Some of mine are like blue bonnets because the wildflowers come up. My mom's birthday is in March. You have to be careful with March because March, M-A-R-C-H is also M-A-Y, M-A. So if you're an auditory psychic, if you hear things or you see the letters M-A, you need something more, you know, and that's why we're doing this part of the practice. So writing down what feels like March. In Austin, we have South by Southwest, which takes over March. There's traffic. Don't come in Austin. I know you guys want to hang out with me. You don't want to hang out in March. St. Patrick's Day, right? Like there's different things that people could pick up on. You might see a 4-leaf clover and think Irish, but if you're trying to pick up a time, maybe Spirit's trying to show you March, right? April. I need some help with April. So tell me what you're putting down in April besides your personal dates, because that's not going to help me. But like tax day, April, what's April? Reggae Fest, because here in Austin it always, Easter. Thanks, Letitia. Thanks, everybody. Hitler's birthday. No. Resurrection. Okay. See, I knew you guys could help me. Easter. Resurrection. So if I see a big cross, I know April. Oh, diamonds are the birthstone. Birthstone, Mary. Good idea. April Fools. Okay, so that's a great way that you got. I knew I was going to learn something. I knew Spirit was like going to show me a lesson from you guys. So birthstones are another great way to connect with your month if you know them. If you have gemstones, if you have colors, right, that connect with you with a month. May, again, I put wildflowers, so I'm confusing myself. So I've got bluebonnets for March, but May, wildflowers, right? Wildflowers. Summer, I like to be on the lake. I like to be in the garden. What else happens in May? Mother's Day. Good job. It wasn't a trick question. I just didn't think about it. I used to Empress vibes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yes, Empress card. And so maybe you have some tarot cards that show you the way. So if I see the Empress card, maybe I'll remember the connection to May. Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Drinko is what everybody else used to call it down here. Cinco, I'm going to put that one in mine. That's a good one. I used to work for West Texas, the West Texas Fair and Rodeo, and we had a Western Heritage Rodeo that always took place on Mother's Day. So my mom wasn't really big on Mother's Day. I mean, we didn't like have a big thing about it, but I do remember the rodeo. So that's kind of interesting. May, okay, Mother's Day. You guys are better at this than I am. June, what do you got for June? June sounds like July, right? So if you're an auditory psychic, just being careful about that. June, July. For me, it's like beach time, summertime, umbrella. Like I get all the beach symbols. Lake, yeah. Gemini season. Oh, duh. We could totally be using our horoscope symbols. Hello, April, for the rescue. Thank you. Father's Day. Forgot that one. Sorry. Yes, Father's Day. Yes, perfect. Gemini season. So I'm going to go back through and put all of the horoscopes. It's tricky because the horoscopes aren't perfect, right? But June. July, we've got 4th of July here in the States. Maybe it doesn't apply to everybody watching overseas. When I think of July, I think of like my vegan hot dogs and being at the lake and having like a grill day, you know. I think about hurricane weather, and I think about being at my family's place, and I think about sweating. Yeah, Letitia. Rain. Who gets rain in July? That's awesome. Not me. I can't. In New Mexico. Yeah. Can I move there yet? Find me a place. I want to be there. So July. So you get the idea, right? Oh, Alabama gets rain too. Guys, I'm in the wrong zone. Yes, I do. I love the lake there. And the mountain view and the mountain air and the plants. For August, right? So Leo season, Lionsgate. That's funny that we just did this because I actually wrote down New Mexico in my August because that's when I usually have the ability to go at that time, right? So for me, when I think if I'm trying to get a date and Spirit shows me anything about the land of enchantment, the outline of the state, a feeling that I've had there, it's like, okay, August, I know what that means. If they show me a road trip, like, you know what I mean? So August could be back to school for some people. There's some like blatantly obvious. Oh, yes, green chili. I'm so glad you brought that up because we have the New Mexico chilies come to Austin this time of year. And I had the thought, like the hatch chilies were roasting, and I'm like, I got to put that in my notes. So I'm so glad you said that because absolutely the hatch chilies are a sign for me. September, apples for August from April. Oh yeah, because the beginning of fall crops. September, football, early fall. What Labor Day I have like no connection with. Maybe some of you guys do. I don't mean that in a rude or And I don't mean that in a rude way at all. I just have like no, like it's a Monday. September. We hope the weather changes, but it doesn't. Not here. We're in third summer during September is what we're doing. October, of course, you know, we're the fall. Okay, yeah, the leaves, the fall, pumpkins, pumpkin lattes, sweaters with boots, like cute little outfits. You can finally change your wardrobe. You can like, you know, turning of the season. You might see a witch's hat. You might see loads of candy. You might see something fun that associates with Halloween. You might have an important birthday or anniversary or death day or something remarkable. We're doing our scales. We're doing our practice. I promise this is going to make sense for you. And then November, I can't tell you all of mine because it'll be giving things away, but I also think about Thanksgiving. We had a family that was really like, oh, sugar skulls. That's a good one. Are you thinking, Shelley, are you thinking for November 1st for Day of the Dead, or were you thinking for October? For October? Yeah. You want to unmute yourself? Oh, Day of the Dead. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. That's a really good one because I didn't think of that. And I do like to get out my old black and white photos for the Day of the Dead and put a little like family space up. I had a family that watched UT versus A&M. They're in different conferences now, but like that like sports conflict is a big thing for me in November. Pumpkin pie, sage stuffing. Ooh, spirit makes me feel like I'm eating sage stuffing. I know we're talking about November. And then in spirit, yeah, Day of the Dead. December. December is for disappointment. No, I'm kidding. I love December. It's it's Christmas, it's winter solstice, it's stockings, it's snow, it's Christmas trees, it's Hanukkah menorahs. In my, like, those are the things that I grew up with, like in my December. The little okay, ornaments, yes, darkness, cozy family, fireplace, maybe good food. I'm just reading the comments for everybody. There's what else was I thinking about in December? I got sidetracked. Maybe it wasn't important. Winter solstice. Did I already say that? December feels very white. There's a specific album that I love to break out during December. That it just makes me relive every single positive December I've ever had. It's like the sound of December. So if you do something like that, like you have like, maybe you have like, you know, that smell that which department store does this? It's like lemon, rosemary, and cinnamon, and you boil it in a boiling pot with water, and it's like a simmer pot, and your whole house smells like that. Oh, a little vanilla. You need the vanilla in there, but that's a smell of December for me. I make chai apple butter for Christmas for gifts. And so that's a smell of December for me. Pine trees, somebody saying candles, decorating. Yeah. Okay, so let's sit with that for a second. Just like look at your personal list. Did you forget to put your birthday? Did you forget to put something important in there? Did you forget? Oh, candy canes. Yeah, that's a good one. You guys are teaching me so much. Thank you. Okay. This is the background work we're doing that is going to give you strong evidence, because if you don't know what your symbols and signs are, you're just pinning the tail on the donkey. It's pointless. You're just guessing, and you're smarter than that, and spirit can help you more than that. You don't have to just guess. You can get a symbol that you just identified. And you're going to add to that over time. I love the idea of going back over it and layering tarot cards, zodiac signs, gemstones, herbs, foods, smells, people. Like you're going to go back over this list, and it doesn't have to be super extensive, because the truth is you just need kind of one. You really just need kind of one. But I don't know how you work, right? Like, are you more of a smelly clairvoyant that smells things, or are you a visual one? So that's why we have to go through and practice, right? And plus you'll be able to teach somebody else this method too. Maybe, if you want. You can keep the secret for yourselves. Okay, so we made it to the point of practice. So does anybody have any questions so far? We just jumped right in with getting the months down. Okay, good. The next piece of honing in on your month, like you could use a pendulum. You don't have to do this psychically, right? Like you could use a pendulum and just be like, I'm feeling like it's November. Is November correct? No, my pendulum says no, it's not November, right? Is December correct? Yes, my pendulum says yes. So you could use a pendulum when you're trying to get dates. You could use 2 cards in the tarot deck, like a card that means yes to you, like a sun card or something, and a card that means no to you, like an 8 of cups or something. And you could just have those 2 cards. There's many ways you can access this information to do your scales, to practice getting the win of things. But right now we've got a little template for how spirit is going to communicate to you in a way that feels safe to you, for figuring out the dates. Is it bad to pull tarot cards for yourself? I don't think it's bad to. I personally don't very often, because I have an agenda. You know what I mean? And so I like to, and you know where a great place to get tarot cards read for free is our Facebook group, the inner, I want to call it Inner Vision, Inner Circle. Facebook group. If you're not on Facebook, maybe there's another way, but we have a group that if you post a card reading, that they'll comment on it for you and say, here's what I see. And so that's a great place to do it. I don't think it's bad. And how is it best to come from a place of neutrality? Well, you have to practice meditation, which we are going to do today. So neutrality, to get out of your own way, there's just no way around it. You have to separate yourself and your thoughts from the thoughts coming in, and to get to a place of neutrality. And so we are definitely going to practice that today. The next step after this, after figuring out what you associate with each month, would be to do the same thing for each season. Okay, we're not going to do that right now. You can take your time to do that. After that, we want to hone in a little bit. So just the fact that I said November, I could have guessed that. You know, any psychic could have guessed November, right? So we want to wow our people. All right. And so we're going to break down the month into 3 categories: the 1st through the 10th, the 10th through the 20th, or I guess it should be 11th through the 20th, and the 21st through the 31st. And so we're going to break our month down into 3 stages. Okay. And then we're going to feel what feels most correct. We're going to just feel into it. So if I've got a question and I'm wondering when, right? And I get November, does it feel like the 1st? Does my gut go like, then that's a no. My teacher says it should fit like a glove. It should feel like the information in there. Like she talks about it in the way that it's like, you know, those magnets, like a kind of like an Etch-a-Sketch thing. It's like you run it across and it just like sucks into place. It's a perfect fit. So if I'm feeling like, okay, spirit, right? I'm talking with spirit. Is it the 1st through the 10th? And my body kind of like, then no. Is it the middle of the month? Well, that feels better. Is it the end of the month? I'm not really sure. Okay, so I've narrowed it down. I've got the middle or the end. Okay, so are any numbers occurring to me? The 17th is occurring to me, right? So November 17th is what's occurring to me, right? Right. And so that's just how I start to figure it out. And then I can put the information down, get up, do something mundane. I can go do the dishes. I can get back into the physical world, and I can look at my sticky notes from a different angle, just like an artist would do a base level, you have to put it down and come back to it, right? And so when I come back to it, I'm going to feel like it's correct or it's not correct. And I'm going to go with that because I'm going to trust myself. I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to get the first thing, the yes or the no, and I'm just going to go with it. So some people, right, in their human design, like me, are sacral, and it's kind of easy. You can toggle with the yes and the no. Some people are emotional. So over time, you have to look at things over time. Some people are splenic and feel them differently in their body. And so this is a plug for human design. If you need your foundational session, get one with Leisha. But it is that very subtle way of knowing yourself so much and loving yourself so much that is what makes you a good psychic, you know? Because if you don't know yourself and how you access information and how you make decisions, this is all just going to feel very foreign to you. Okay, I'm sweating, which to me means that we're really connecting with spirit. So the next little piece is going to be that we're going to connect with spirit, and I'm going to go through meditation with you, and then we're going to practice. So if you guys want to practice getting dates, hang in there with me. Or if this has been enough, thank you for attending. And April got a psychic hit. What did you just say? Followed up and was able to fix something before it was too late. That's good. Yeah. Cliffhanger. April, what was it? What did you say? Did you like get somebody out of a wreck or something?
No, it's not that big of a deal, but I just realized I didn't, I'm about to broadcast a webinar and I didn't check my links to make sure that all of these external links were working. And so I went in and just fixed 2 links that were actually broken. So
Perfect.
Resulted in a better user experience for everyone who joins the webinar later.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Those little intuitive hits, you got to listen to them. Thank you for sharing that very real life example. Okay. I'm not stalling really. I'm not sure what is going on. Spirit was like, wait a second. So here's what I want to do. If you, to be more psychic, you got to sit still and meditate. And so we are going to take a few minutes to do that now. And what we're going to do is the practice of naming our mind, right? So naming your mind. I use Mindy because it's mind with a Y. You can borrow that one. You can name yours Tiffany. You don't have to name it something that you hate or love. It's just separate. And as we sit still, the thoughts are going to come in. I need to do this. I got something else to do. I'm not really that psychic. I'm bored here. I want to get up. I'm grieving something. All of the thoughts are going to come in, and you're going to let Mindy choose if that's a future thought or a past thought. And so I just want to invite everybody to put their pens down, shake the fingers out, let the body be restless for a second, maybe roll the shoulders up by the ears, do something to just kind of get the wiggles out. And if you want to join me in closing your eyes, we're just connecting with spirit. I'm going to describe the way I do it, and then you can be creative with the way that you want to do it. For me, I use the mind positively to first construct like a crystal box around myself. And that keeps me safe. It keeps me safe from your thoughts and energy. It keeps me safe from picking up something I don't want to pick up. And the mind protects the aura in a positive way with my crystal box. Maybe you have a rainbow shaped egg. I don't know. You got something going on for you, but I'm in my box, and then I'm going to visualize this golden stream of white liquid light coming down through my crown chakra. So the crown chakra has to be open. I've got to relax the top of my head. I've got to just relax it, just like a sigh at the top of your head. If your brain is thinking, gripping, clenching, grasping, this is the time when you can just relax it. You're not trying for anything. You're just relaxing from the head all the way to the feet. And you're softening the inner ear. The inside of your ear has to relax. And the throat has to relax. The throat has to soften. The jaw has to soften. The hips have to soften. And you just allow this streaming light to come through the top of your crystal box, through the top of your head, through all of the chakras. making sure that they're spinning, making sure that they're lit up in connection. Sometimes I'll go the next to my heart so that I visualize my heart expanding three-dimensionally outside of my body, outside of my crystal box. And this metta, this loving kindness, extends to all of the tribe of humanity, the nature kingdom, this beautiful earth, this one precious human life that we're sharing at this moment in time. My heart extends out past my home, past my community, past my city, my state, overseas, around the earth. Yours might look different. That's okay. I'm just expanding that heart energy so that I'm coming from a place of love. And then I'm going to start to expand my aura, just send my energy out. I can't be psychic if I'm crunched up and tightened up and crunched in and clenching something. I have to be just open. And I just ask for spirit to bless the session. And I ask my guides to be clear, concise, and accurate. So you can set an intention with your guides or your highest self if you're not working with guides right now. We'll get to that later in the series. And there's kind of a lot going on in the visual field, which is good. It helps develop your psychic work to be creative with your eyes closed, right? And asking your spirit guide to come forward, or your highest self, or your God, or who you want to connect with psychically in the other realm. You just ask if they want to come join you today. They're not going to get their energy inside your box, so don't worry. But they are going to be there to help you connect and to stay connected. You're connecting to universal wisdom. You're connecting to pure love and light. You're connecting to unconditional love and infinite wisdom in the field where all things are possible. It's a really cool place to hang out. When you're meditating on your own, you don't have my voice to kind of chew on. That's when you can practice sorting the thoughts out. Thank you, Mindy. I don't need that one today. I'm just going to breathe. And the next important piece in your meditation before practicing is going to be to slow the breath down and to only breathe through your nose. I'll give you a resource for a breathwork book that I like. They call them those like nasty mouth breathers or something that's just hilarious. So our mouths are closed. We're breathing in through the nose because the nose is going to filter the air perfectly. And contrary to how we breathe in our normal life, we're going to fill the belly up first. So as you inhale, you're going to fill the belly, and then the heart space, and then the throat space. And then as you exhale, it's going to come out from the top down. And as you inhale, it's going to go belly, lungs, throat. And as you exhale, it's going to go throat, heart, belly. You're going to try to regulate your breath so that you've got 6 counts going up, pausing and letting it float, and then 6 counts going down. So I'm going to count with us, and then I'm going to be quiet so that we can sit in our stillness. So if you can, just take an inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, letting it float. And then exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exhaling completely. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, letting it float. And then exhaling for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can adjust this tempo, but we want to regulate the same speed of inhale and exhale. I like to play sitar music, but today we're just going to sit in silence. And I'm asking Spirit to draw near to each of you in a way that feels comfortable, safe, loving, like your familiar spiritual best friend is there with you. And then when you're ready, you're just going to slowly flutter your eyes open. You're kind of back in the real world. Everybody's safe and sound in their own body. You're born wise. You have all the information inside of you. And I just want to invite you to start a reading for me, which can be intimidating because you think I care, but I don't care. And there are lots of things that you could get right. So I want you to ask yourself, what are some important dates for me? There are many. And so when you connect with my energy, you're going to get, Victoria, yes, you're going to get, maybe you'll get numbers, maybe you'll get dates, maybe you'll get a month, maybe you'll get one of your images that you wrote down. And I want you to practice with the month and a number, or the month only, if that's where you're comfortable, or the month and one of the three phases, early, middle, or late. And you can take a moment, or you can pop it in the chat when you got a second. Victoria, shut up. Stop it. March 27th is my mom's birthday. That is a very important date to me. So good job. I'm seeing other dates that are accurate, but I just knew somebody was going to get that one. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And you know what happens is this person feels like their mom's around, right? So that's cool. Like you just changed somebody's day for the better, right? February 4th, Shelly, is my grandma's birthday. Shut up! Y'all, this is crazy. I love it. I like being the guinea pig too, let's be honest. February 4th is my mom's birthday. And it's doubly significant because how do I say this? My grandmother had 3 daughters. My mom died. There's 2 left. My grandma died. So those 2 daughters took on February 4th as their birthday as a way to honor my grandmother. Like, that's big. It's super sweet. April, I'll take that as a prediction. Let's be skiing on July 21st on the lake. Wonder, and you know what? Like some of your dates may not occur to me right now. And that's a pisser when you're doing a reading and the person is like, that doesn't make any sense. And then 2 weeks later, you're like, July 21st is when the da-da-da-da-da happened. And so I might be that person today. I'm going to scroll back up because I think everybody that wants to play has had a chance to play. And so I'm going to go back up. So Victoria, you said 6 and 27 and 14, and then you narrowed it down to March 27th. So your process might be to get the numbers first, but you nailed it. We've got December 23rd. That is, no, my granddad is December 27th. So 27 could have been a couple of different 27s. July 4th, March 17th, and August 6th. So very close with those. I do have a significant March 17th like memory that is part of my what I get for March. So I think that you're picking up like broadly for me. August 6th is very close to August 8th. And so you were very, very close. So instead of maybe pinpointing a date right at first, you might say, I'm getting August and it's the first part of the month. And then you would have nailed it because I could have told you that August 8th, a couple days, no, mine's August 28th, but I could have told you something significant for that first week of August, right? Do you see what I'm saying? So it's good to go for it, but then also when you're practicing out in the world to realize like, if you'll know when you need to go for it versus when you need to say the first of the month type of a thing. Vanessa's guessing July 1st through 10th. We've got a February 12th and October 10th or 11th. So I think the same thing is kind of happening because there are some very important things that are happening in October, but the numbers aren't quite right yet. Kimberly is guessing November 9th, shepherd or husky barking. So Kimberly, my birthday is November 7th. So very, very close. And I definitely have pumpkins everywhere in November. And I have had a very, very close dog, my German Shepherd Judge, passed last season. And we have new German Shepherds, like we have new rescues. And so it's not a husky, but you could feel that energy, right? Like they're that same kind of mentality. So really good job on all of this, guys. Early March during earlier meditation, Letitia. Okay, early March. And Mary's guessing April 17th and November 4th. Mary, my dad's birthday is November 3rd and my uncle is November 5th. And there are like jam-packed. There's a whole bunch of the 3rd through 7th is a lot of very important people in my life's birthday. Somebody said November 27th. Kimberly, my boyfriend is November 29th. Very close, right? So you can see that you're right and take that and then start to fine tune it. Oh, Shelly's getting lightning. That's cool. Horses, and you forced April 11th. Now this is interesting. Horses are my I have 4 horses and I meditate with them. So I'm not surprised that you're seeing horses. That's very accurate. Keisha has a birthday too, and a GS. Keisha, your birthday is Keisha, when's your birthday? Is it November 7th? No way! And you have GSDs. I've met one other person with the November 7th birthday. We're birthday twins. Amazing. Okay. And then I was seeing that Victoria is saying that December 23rd and August 6th are big dates for her. So you guys might be picking up on somebody else in the group right now, right? So what that means is you're tuned in. Good job. And then I want you to start to focus it better, right? Because we were trying to work on this client. And so we want to stay focused on the energy. And how do you do that, right? You're just like practicing right now. That's why we come to these circles. April is 4 and you kept seeing a box 4 sides. Did anybody use their notes from the months? Did anybody use their exercise, or were you just kind of like November? You know what I mean? Which there's no wrong way to do this. Dee, you're shaking your head. Will you unmute and tell us which that's good. Winging it's good too. But which things occurred to you and how did they come?
Well, it was very early in the process. And when I do get things, it comes like lightning. It comes so fast.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't like trying. I was, breathing, and I saw an egg fall. And I went with Easter. But ovulation is like pounding at the back of that. So don't know. Anyway, okay. That's what was in my head. Just set that. And then shortly after that, I just saw what I would call the North Star. And I go, okay, Star of Bethlehem, Christmas. So I just said, if I didn't get dates, but I got the holidays. So Easter and Christmas.
Okay. I want to give you some more feedback on that because you were more accurate than you realize. So you saw an egg drop is what you said?
Yeah, it was kind of like it just came down and then like this, something was created. I don't know. It was a very strange thing, but that's what happens. My brains scramble a little bit and it's fun.
No, but it's actually very accurate. So the reason that I think it's good to talk about how that our different processes is so that all of us, we can communicate with our clients, our friends, ourselves better. And so we learned today that Dee has an egg that helps her with one of her months because it means Easter. But we were reading for Tiffany. And one of the things that you guys know is like, I'm looking for like, what is my symbol in May? I don't know what my symbol, you know what a great symbol for May is for me is an egg, is a cascarone, because we used to have these big fiesta festivals. And so it's an egg, and it's, if you're not familiar, it's a hollow egg, and you put confetti in and you paste like that clear paper over it, and then you smash it on your head. And it was a big deal for my parents. They ran the beer booth in La Fiesta, Austin for years and years. So growing up, every May, I would have falling eggs on my head. And so, so you could have,
good.
And it might sound like, wow, Tiffany, you're really reaching for something, but I want to use this as a learning opportunity so that you can say, like, I'm either getting Easter, so the time frame of April or May, or how they're showing it to me is visually an egg dropping. Would either of those resonate with you? And so that's how you could communicate that. And if they're like, no, you just keep trusting yourself, because that's what you saw. You did not see that. That's what spirit gave you. It was for a reason. It might make sense to them the second you get off the phone, or the second, you know what I mean? So don't tell yourself that you're scrambled. You were clear. And that North Star thing, that's very important too, and how you can conveyed it. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Shelly saw the actual words and numbers, so she's maybe more experiencing it like very clearly, clairvoyantly, like can just see it. And so that some of you guys might be doing that. Yes, this is definitely recorded, and I will send everybody. Thank you for coming in, Angelique. Connie says that in meditation, you get a gathering of the grandmothers that surround you for protection. That's beautiful. Let's all do that. Let's surround ourselves with our grandmothers for sure. Thank you for sharing that. I'm like, horses are just my easiest go-to, because I feel the most amount of powerful love, protection from those beings. I don't have any, I have only positive, strong, strength, love connections there. So that's an easy go-to for me. Okay, will a few more of you share your experience and how you got that, and then we'll do one more practice. Anybody feeling it? Like they want to share how they got their information, because we could really dissect it. Okay. No,
Hey, Tiff.
Yo.
I'll share mine.
Okay.
But I actually have something else that came in way stronger, like, than the date.
Good.
Do you have Gypsy heritage, like blood?
Well, Russian, which is very much tied to my Ukrainian, Jewish, Eastern European side. So I have been told that, yes.
Okay. So specifically around having, like feeling settled in your own space.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like there's kind of this essence of you that maybe you're holding on to that is like a little bit transient, and like the free spirit and Gypsy, like it's like kind of a ancestral thing, like maintaining connection to your ancestors, maybe leading you to make choices that keep a life path going that is not necessarily what you're wanting. So maybe exploring that a little bit. It just seemed I would maybe have to, we could work on it later, but there was something else that was kind of intruding versus the dates.
Well, let me give you some feedback on that too. So she's sharing how she's feeling and how she's connecting. And here's what's accurate about that. So before you started translating it, the information, the pure information is true for me, because why I'm so excited about this class, why I'm so glad that you guys are here today, that I just cry about, is because the suppression of our psychic side is so big. It's so loud. It's so easy to be the homogenized zombie and work the job this way and save this month and retire this way and like sit in the traffic and do it. It's so easy to just clock out and to never meditate, to not sit down for 5 effing minutes and meditate, and that's why I get so excited about this class, is because I do feel like I'm passing on something that spirit wants me to pass on, right? It's not the Tiffany show. I'm not special and different. I try to say that over and over and over. It's like, this ability to connect psychically, accurately, clearly, you have just shown me, right? I said you didn't have to prove anything, but you guys have. And that's what I get excited about, that I get to be in a position to pass this on, this gypsy psychic work. So that's one thing. And then of course, now I'm going to book an Akashic Records session with you because I want to know more. So April is our lead Akashic Records reader at Wise Skies. If you want to experience her sessions, they're pure magic. Thank you for sharing that with me. I appreciate it very much. Back in the chat, Letitia felt something stuck in her throat, lungs, and she asked, what's that for? This is a great strategy, right? And she thought of the months and the symbols. And so Letitia, what was your date if you're still around? What you got? Because
okay. Sorry,
yeah.
I'm trying to unmute. Yeah, I was the early March.
Yeah. So before my mom died, right? She was March 27th. But before she passed, she was like, it's stuck in my throat. It's what's in my throat. Something's in my throat. Can we get it out now? Is what she would say.
Whoa.
Yeah. And not that you need to like relive that for her, but that's very evidential information. Mm-hmm. And saying that is real for me. And that's what counts right now, because you're reading me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So something stuck in your throat. And you're like, almost lungs. So you kind of questioned yourself. You weren't quite sure. It was throat. Something was stuck in her throat. And you asked, what's that for? So this is a powerful teaching moment for all of us. If you get like D's egg, if you're not quite sure, you can ask spirit, what's that for? What are you trying to show me? You know, and it's like this internal conversation going on. That is a beautiful strategy. Sometimes people will ask like their guide to write on a spirit board, right? Well, just write it on your board so I can see it. So if you're like Shelly and you get the pure on like words and numbers, you can just ask spirit, write it on your spirit board, and you can just see what comes up. See if something comes up on your pretend Etch-a-Sketch. Rosalie, that's amazing that you got November 7th, but you thought it was because it's your son's birthday. So now we've got 3 November 7th people. So this is so exciting because it teaches you to not second guess yourself. You had it right. You have it right. It is right. It's correct. Good job. You're psychic. And you associated your son with it. So you could have said that. You could have said, I'm getting November 7th. And is that associated with a child, right? Is that associated with a son, a daughter, somebody that's this level in your life, right? Victoria just says she saw March 27th when she relaxed. Nice. Yeah, okay, Victoria, do you want to unmute and share that exercise?
Hey guys, so when I remember reading an article by Dr. Norman Shealy. Do you guys know who he is?
Mm-mm.
He's this amazing, I don't know if he's still alive because he was ancient even back then, but he was talking about being able to tune in, and he said do something with fruit and vegetables and just tune in. And I remember I told my daughter about it, who was probably about 14 at the time. And I said, let's try this and see what happens. And suddenly I have this big image of blueberries just right here. It was just like, it was really easy. And we, used to do it just and laugh when we, because we would both start seeing these images. So, it's so natural. I think that's when I realized it's just so natural to do this.
It really is. And it's such a good exercise. What I want you guys to write me in the chat. What are some things that you would need to know the date for? Why would somebody be asking you when? What are some of those things?
I can say, because I read tarot professionally.
Yeah.
I'm always having clients ask me for dates.
Okay. For what? When should I leave my job? Yeah.
When they're going to get married, or when they are, what day they should move, or, that they're going to get their new job.
Yeah. Anybody else? Surgery, right? Y'all, I had my surgery on July 11th, which is when the United States had their first Pluto return, which I don't recommend. I did not choose that date. I did not pick it, but I sometimes I have a client that says, sometimes you got to fly over the Bermuda Triangle on Friday the 13th at midnight. And I just love that saying because it's so true. Like sometimes you know better and it's just like life lines things up for you. You have a soul contract with the timing of your life, right? And so there are big ethics involved in this practice. I did skip over some of that earlier because I wanted to make sure you got the practice, the programming in and the practice. And so these are the skills of learning to be a musician. And now you can take this and every class is not going to be exactly like this. I'm not just going to sit there and tell you like, okay, write down all of the states and what you think about Texas and Oklahoma. That's not going to be our practice for next time. We're going to do something a little bit more visual. Yeah, when should I move? When do I take a vacation? These are really good. When will I be well? Yeah, right? Like I'm in a season. When is it over? And so if you get asked a question and you don't know, thank you, Rosalie, for coming in. Good job on getting the birthday right. If you have somebody asking you a question and you really don't know the answer, don't force it because we're not allowed to know everything, right? Like there are some things that should remain a mystery. And so you can say, Spirit's not showing me anything about that right now. Maybe we could ask another time, or there's more information that is to be revealed. Does that make sense? Do you guys have any questions? I know I promised one more practice round, which we're going to do, but if there are any questions, I want to make sure that we get those answered within our little hour here. I'm so proud of you. I'm really glad that we're here. Sasha has her hand up.
Thanks, Tiff. I just want to know if you get hits about like a stranger you're walking by, I get the sense never to say anything, but how do you like turn that off? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Do you experience that? I don't.
Oh yeah, because my calling is to be a spiritual medium, right? So I definitely experience that, but I don't always say something about it because it's not always appropriate, right? So I'm having this internal dialogue. Sometimes what'll be happening is I'm in a room full of people and this like white haze will come around a person. And I know that they could use a mediumship reading, but it's not appropriate for me to go up to them and say, like whatever. So you go about your daily life like a normal person. If you stay on all the time, if you stay with this open chakra in this meditative state all the time, it's going to wear you out, drain you. You're going to be depleted of nutrients. Everybody take magnesium if you need that. Make sure you're drinking lots of water while you're practicing. Of course, saltwater baths. There's other strategies and techniques to keep this body healthy so that you can be out in the world as a normal person. But if you get a hit for somebody, are you answering a calling? Do they need that information and you're the conduit? Or are you kind of being like spiritually nosy, accidentally didn't mean to?
Yes.
And that's for you to discern and to determine. There was one time I actually, Letitia, who's in here, Letitia, I tell this story all the time. I was doing cards. It was her birthday. And we were at this restaurant. And maybe Letitia can tell it better than me. This is how I remember it. This is how the story goes in my mind. But the owner came out and was like, "What are you doing?" And I immediately was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. We were in a very conservative town. I thought I had offended him. I put the cards away." I'm like, "Look, I didn't. We were just doing a little birthday fun." And he was like, "No, it's okay. I believe in all that." And so I told him about wise skies and we do astrology, mediumship. And he's like, "I believe in all that." And I'm like, whether you believe in it or not, I go, okay, you believe, like the world's spinning, that our spirit people are with us, but whatever. I didn't have an attitude about it, but I felt a presence step forward. And I don't remember if I appropriately asked him if he was open to a little message, but that's what I should have done. I should have said, I'm getting something for, okay, thanks, Letitia, I did. I'm getting something for you. And I'm wondering if you're open to a little reading, and you would find your own words for that. Because in that moment, here's when you should do it, is when you have a sense of anxiety and it's like, you're supposed to talk in class and or like, you know what I mean? Like in church and you want to be baptized, but you don't want to go down the aisle, or, you know what I mean? It's like that feeling of anxiety is spirit rolling through you. And so if you have that sense of anxiety about it, ask spirit, does this person need a message? That's your first check. Second check is, hey person, hey owner, chef of this restaurant, would you like a little message from spirit? I have a gift and I'm getting something for you. And then they're going to say yes or no. I've had people say no and it kills me because it's so clear and they need the message and I've been sent. But if they say no, they'll get it some way. You're not responsible for that message. So what happened in the restaurant is that the dude, I said, I've got a John here and he's your age. And I think, Letitia, will you unmute yourself? I think that's all I said. And I think that he started crying and was like, that was my husband. And I think I told him he passed of cancer. Is that how it went?
I think it was something like, I can't remember exactly. It was years ago, but like, I do remember first you were like, let's go to that restaurant. And I was like, what? Okay, sure. Yeah, let's do that. And you're just dead set on it. Like, you weren't like, do you want to go to this one or this one? I was like, let's go to that one. And I was like, okay, decision made. And then he came up, like you said, and was just like really interested. And you were like making sure to be sensitive and all that. And then you're like, yeah, I forgot the guy's name. It was definitely his husband that just passed away a few months before that or something. I don't know. And he like sat down on the bench next to us and like started tearing up. I mean, yeah, I can't remember all the information that you shared, but it was pretty insane.
But I use that as a pivotal moment in that man's life. He might not have ever booked a session with a medium. He never came to be a client for Wise Guys. I don't know his name. But I know that I delivered a message of healing, of grief, of hope. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that man crying in the restaurant that he owned with two little witchy girls doing tarot cards on a birthday, like that was life-changing for him. And it was pivotal for me. And because I get to use it as a teaching moment, right? Bye, Connie. Thanks for being here. So thank you for remembering that with me. That's how I tell it. I do remember how he passed of cancer. And I do remember that they were married for 20 years. And so to answer your question, Sasha, you never know what might happen if you speak up about your gift. And I think that you can't just like be like, bump into somebody and be like, I'm getting the color green, you know, because you want to, there's a certain thing in at least our society in the States that there's already this like skepticism, like, oh, eye roll, like hippie thing going on. And we want to be as professional and ethical as possible in the situation, or I do. And so I want to just like honor that level of professionalism and ethics. And by all I do is ask, is this, I'm getting a message for you. Are you open to hearing it? And they'll tell you yes or no. And they'll think you're weird or not. And you'll have the keys to the universe. You know, does that help? Yeah. Okay. All right. Awesome. Do you have your crystal with you? Is it close to you? You want to look? I have mine too. I sent Sasha a tower because she did such a crazy good job. Sasha writes a lot of our astrology articles and columns. So Sasha and I have sister crystals this week. Cheers, crystal cheers. I felt bad splitting them up, but they said it was okay. Okay, I'm going to think of a specific question and ask you guys. And I'm going to ask you guys about an important anniversary. So there are a couple, so you're going to get it right. But just if you've gotten out of the state and you're back in like thinking zone, just, you know, take a second, open the crown chakra, connect with your spirit guides, connect with your heart center, connect with your great love for me, connect with your great love for yourself. And just see if you can lean into a season. And if you can find a season for an important anniversary. I'm going to think I'm going to think a couple of them to help you out. And once you have your season, can you narrow it down into a month? And once you have a month with your symbols or with your words or with your hearing, however you receive your information, can you then narrow it down into a beginning, middle, or end of the month? And then does a particular date or date range occur to you? Y'all are thinking of dates that are accurate and I had forgotten about. So very good job. I like this class. It blows me away. This mid-April is correct. It is not the one I was thinking of. It is correct. So I want you to think of another anniversary. If you've already gotten April, then give me a couple more. There's 3 really important anniversaries that I can think of. And then we'll wrap up so that we can stay close to our hour for everybody. Okay. You could tell me the answer can't be known right now, Tiffany. You can, this is your practice. So just, did anybody get a visual? Did anybody get a visual that went with their programming? Did you get a memory of a time of year for you that made you say what you said? Or are you just guessing? And that's okay too. Okay, so you're reminding me of some other anniversaries. This is interesting. Things that I do annually, right? Anniversary, something that's an annual date to it. Feeling mostly. So some of you, it helps me to understand how you're getting your information so I can fine tune the rest of the classes. So you're saying that it's a feeling. Okay, I'm going to go back through your dates and tell you what I can remember right now. Everybody that got April, my boyfriend and I started dating in April 7 years ago. And April is it's actually Letitia and I were doing side project Sundays, and I remember kissing him for the first time outside of the barbecue thing and going to side project Sundays and wearing a new dress and being like, we're a thing now, you know. So April is important. Elizabeth stuck on November 9th. Victoria's getting some November too. November is my birthday. We won't call it an anniversary. Kimberly, the feedback for seeing September with a horse in a saddle and brushing and scraping the horse. You're picking up on a significant event in my life. When I moved to Vermont, I was in September and I was on a horse farm. And so I was, that is a significant event in my life. I wouldn't classify it as an anniversary, but it's still accurate information. Shelley, I don't know about January 24th. Maybe you're picking up a future date for me. Elizabeth, I don't know about June 3rd either. It's probably me. It's user error. Always blame the audience when it's not clicking, always. And I'm serious. It's funny, but actually blame the audience. Like you're correct. Victoria's February, my father-daughter dance is significant for me. Jennifer, August, I celebrate my sobriety in August. So August 28th is when I just had 7 years. January, feeling early May, opening a business. That's when I renamed Wise Skies. I bought Wise Skies in May and I renamed it. So that's accurate information. April got the apple A and felt like August. Apple A. Trying to place that one. I don't know. I'm thinking of like school starting in August with the apple. October calendar.
Yeah, so Letitia, you're picking up on what I'm getting. So I put in the chat August 30th or 31st, but how it came was late August, and then I landed on those dates. But then you said your anniversary is the 28th, and then you just pick it was Apple August, and yeah. So I feel like thank you for helping me.
Yeah, Letitia.
Sorry, I was like, oh, you just said it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice connection, guys. Like that's teamwork. And this is why this work is so cool, because in like as a group, we can pick up more than we can pick up alone. And it's so much more powerful. If we have a client, like let's say that Wise Guys gets a missing person client, for example, my part of my dream work, right? And I come back to our group and I give you some basic information and we all get August. That is so powerful. When we're not picking, not in this Zoom picking up on each other's energy, but in our own space, picking up something and bringing it back to the table and it's all the same. That's evidence that is spirit led, right? And so sometimes it's anyways, I'm going to go on a tangent about that, but the teamwork that just happened is evidence of my dream for what we can do with psychic development. So thank you, ladies. Sasha's saying October with kitty pumpkin stickers on Halloween. I love Halloween. It's my favorite. Somebody said July 4th and the last one, July 4th and Halloween are my favorite. So whoever said July 4th, you get credit to, because I love watching the fireworks. Those are my two favorite holidays. Okay. Looks like the guesses are done. We're a little over time. I thank you for being here and coming. Even if you're coming as a favor to me, I appreciate it because it's so powerful. It helps me get to live my calling. I feel fulfilled. I feel on fire. I feel like full of emotion and in a good spiritual way. You can see my eyes want to cry. But I'm so proud of you guys for showing up for this 1 hour. I would love to see you in the rest of the series. Anyone that makes sense for you, please come to it. They're Tuesdays at noon. If you need financial assistance, just let me know. I've tried to price it reasonably based on the experience and trainings that I've put into this, but I want to help you and I want you to be here. So if anybody has any last questions, pop them in the chat. And if not, just hope to see you next time. Make sure you shut yourself down, that you're not walking around like psychic with this thing on all the time. Make sure that you turn the switch off, right? Just visualize the switch going off. Thank you, Spirit, for walking with us this hour, right? Go back and journal some things. Ask Spirit what you missed, what you need to know. Have your private time. Keep meditating every day, right? And that's it. So we're going to work on locations. We're going to start September, I think is it 13th. It's wiseguyscollective.com/classes. It has the full list. So I'm praying for you guys all. I'm putting you in a blessing ball, and I just hope that you have an amazing rest of the day. I hope it was uplifting for you, and I really appreciate your feedback and time. So I'm Tiffany at wiseguyscollective.com if you need to email me for questions. And thanks for coming to our open house. Okay, great.